This just changed everything in the playoff race, my friend. What seemed like just another close Eagles victory hides something much bigger. Something that could define the team's fate until the end of the season. I know, the score was simple, but the impact is huge. And what's behind this victory and what comes next will surprise many people in the NFL. Before I reveal what's really happening behind the scenes and how it directly affects the Eagles' future, leave a like and subscribe to the channel, because today's analysis is heavy, exclusive, and full of behind-the-scenes details you haven't seen anywhere else. But definitely, there's more. One of the pillars of this team left the field injured, and what he did afterward will give you chills. And to top it off, a rival star sent a direct message to the fans, trying to extinguish the fire that has already begun to grow. I'll tell you everything, step by step, because the atmosphere in the NFC has just completely changed. The Philadelphia Eagles' close 10-7 victory over Green Bay. The Packers' Monday Night Football game may not have been the most exciting, but it carried enormous implications. It was a hard-fought battle that could define the course of the entire season. The Eagles' defense dictated the pace of the game, keeping Green Bay completely scoreless until the final quarter. It wasn't a visually stunning performance, but it was the kind of gritty display that builds championships. Even Micah Parsons' prediction of a hard-fought battle failed to capture the true intensity of the game. With this victory, Philadelphia regained the NFC lead with 7 wins and 2 losses, a crucial position in the tight playoff race. Here's how the standings stand after Week 10. Philadelphia Eagles, 7-2. Seattle Seahawks, 7-2. Detroit Lions, 6-3. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 6-3. Los Angeles Rams, 7-2. Chicago Bears, 6-3. Green Bay Packers, 5-3-1. This victory not only keeps Philadelphia in control of its destiny, but also puts them in a favorable position to secure home court advantage throughout the postseason. Still, the road ahead will be challenging. Their next opponent is the Detroit Lions, a team that reflects the Eagles' physical style and ambition for NFC supremacy. But while the victory was valuable, it also exposed persistent problems in decision-making. Late in the game, with only 33 seconds remaining and facing a 4th down and 6 yards at Green Bay's 35-yard line, coach Nick Sirianni made a bold decision to attempt the conversion instead of a long ramp. Jalen Hurts threw a long pass to A.J. Brown, which was incomplete, giving possession back to the Packers with a chance to tie the game. Sirianni later defended his decision, saying, "I trust our offense. If we convert, the game is over. I would make the same decision again." Luckily for Philadelphia, the defense held firm, preventing a desperate 64-meter shot attempt by Brandon McManus. Even so, this gamble almost backfired, and it's the kind of decision that can be costly later in the season if repeated. And speaking of strength, one of the team's leaders showed the true fighting spirit. The Philadelphia Eagles' 10-7 victory over the Green Bay Packers may not have been pretty, but it delivered one of the most spirited performances of the 2025 NFL season. It wasn't about spectacular touchdowns or memorable plays, it was about pure determination. Lane Johnson, the veteran right tackle, became the symbol of Philadelphia's fighting spirit, showing exactly why he's one of the most respected players in the league. In the second quarter, Johnson went down clutching his ankle after an awkward block. The stadium fell silent as the strength and conditioning staff helped him off the field and carried him to the locker room. For most players, that would have been the end of the night, but not for Johnson. When halftime resumed, he was back on the sidelines, helmet on, testing his ankle, refusing to give up. At the start of the 4th quarter, with the game undecided, Johnson made his decision. He would return to the field. His return brought instant morale to the team. The crowd roared, and his teammates were energized by his presence. With the Eagles leading by just 3 points, Johnson's presence helped stabilize a line that had suffered damage throughout the night. He anchored the right side and gave Jalen Hurts the protection needed to secure the win. After the victory, coach Nick Sirianni didn't hide his admiration. "He's a warrior," Sirianni said. "When you see a guy like that fighting through pain to help his teammates, it inspires everyone. That's leadership." Johnson's return wasn't just emotional, it was crucial. His ability to come back and play even in pain gave the Eagles a mental and physical boost when they had been training the hardest. And for a player who had been carried off the field on a stretcher minutes earlier, the moment had even greater significance. It was a reminder that the strength of this time comes not only from talent, but also from grit, unity, and passion. The image of Johnson limping back onto the field will remain in the fans' memories for a long time. It wasn't about statistics or glory, it was about refusing to give up when your time counts most. For the younger players in the locker room, it was a lesson about the true meaning of wearing the Eagles uniform. There's still no official information on Johnson's condition for Week 11, but the fact that he returned is already a promising sign. The coaching staff remains cautious, but there's optimism regarding his situation for the anticipated matchup against the Detroit Lions, a game that could change the NFC playoff race. Johnson's story perfectly captures the identity of this 2025 Eagles era: resilient, relentless, and built to overcome adversity. adversity. His fight on Monday night wasn't just about protecting his quarterback, it was about setting the tone for a team with championship ambitions. And on the other side, someone who also drew attention, but for a very different reason, was an old acquaintance of the rival fans. As the Philadelphia Eagles turn their attention to the next phase of the season, an imminent challenge looms: the Dallas Cowboys and their defensive star, Micah Parsons. Every year, this rivalry defines the NFC East, but in 2025 it carries even more weight. Eagles and Cowboys aren't just fighting for divisional pride, they're battling for playoff control, momentum, and the right to call themselves the true powerhouse of the NFC. Parsons has been a nightmare for opposing offenses all season. With his exceptional speed, relentless pressure, and unmatched instincts, he's turned every game into quarterback chaos. But for Jalen Hurts and the Eagles' offensive line, this matchup is personal. Philadelphia remembers what happened the last time Parsons showed up: multiple sacks, interrupted drives, and a performance that nearly changed the outcome of the game. This time, they're determined not to let history repeat itself. The key is in the trenches. With Lane Johnson's health still uncertain after his ankle injury, the Eagles need to prepare for the possibility of facing Parsons without their best protector. This would put enormous pressure on the rest of the offensive line and force Hurts to make quicker decisions. Offensive coordinator Brian Johnson is already creating plays to neutralize Parsons, using short passes, quick passes, and distraction to make his pursuit more difficult. Still, Parsons is the type of player who doesn't just influence the game, he defines it. His ability to transition between linebacker and edge rusher makes him unpredictable, and that unpredictability has fueled the Cowboys' defensive dominance this season. The Eagles know that if they want to secure the NFC East title, they need to find a way to contain him. But this rivalry isn't about a single player, it's about identity. For years, the Eagles and Cowboys have battled not just for wins, but also for respect. Each matchup feels like a test to see who's more determined: Philadelphia's grit versus Dallas's brilliance. And in 2025, with both teams at the top of the conference, that debate could once again decide the path to the Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts addressed the issue directly after the victory over Green Bay. When it comes to Dallas, you don't need extra motivation. It's always personal. That mindset will reignite the energy within the Eagles' locker room right now. Focus, confidence, and a desire to prove they belong among the NFL elite. The upcoming matchup will reveal whether the Eagles' resilience will be enough to overcome Parsons' dominance. If Philadelphia can protect Hurts and execute their game plan, they will not only silence their biggest rival, but also solidify themselves as a true title contender. With the Eagles fighting to solidify their playoff position, Lane Johnson demonstrating his fighting spirit, and Micah Parsons emerging as the next big challenge, do you believe Philadelphia has what it takes to overcome adversity and reclaim dominance in the NFC? Leave your opinion here. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I'll be back later to update you with the latest Eagles news.